Today we're going to go over everything you need to buy to start your home studio. First thing we're going to need is a computer. I suggest a MacBook Pro. Could be an iMac Pro, iMac, or I wouldn't go anything below a MacBook Pro. And I don't use PCs, so everything I'm going to refer to is going to be Apple. So the most important thing about the computer that you'll need is that it needs to be an SSD drive. It can be an i5, but I prefer i7. And it doesn't matter, the size doesn't matter, 15 or 13 inch. Operating system does matter, because if it's too new, you might have programs that are incompatible with the new operating system. So like if you have 2020 Mac and they have a new operating system, I don't know what it would be, but let's just say it was I don't know, Pitbull. I don't know. It may take a couple of months or weeks for Pro Tools to become compatible with Pitbull. So I always like to buy computers that I already know everything is compatible. So that's why I get like 2015, 16, 17. I just don't get too new, and plus it's cheaper. So as long as you guys can get one, I'd say not older than 2014 or whatever. These are the price ranges. I don't know, anywhere from $800 to $900. Now you can use computers that are not these specs, but you will be limited as to what you can do musically with them. Like maybe things will take longer, or you won't be able to use as many tracks at the same time, or the computer may freeze when you're trying to do too much or do too much processing. So if you're just beginning anyway, you probably won't be doing that much. So you don't have to get this. You could have a regular like HD hard drive where it's really slow, like a 2009 or something. You can still do all these things. You know, it'll just make it a little harder for you. You're also going to need speakers. A lot of speakers in the market are, and people call them studio monitors. These are Yamaha NS10s, and they're pretty solid. They don't cost that much, maybe 300 per speaker. You can get some deals, but it doesn't matter what you get, as long as the woofers on your studio monitors are at least 8-inch woofers, you should be good. And I say that because especially if you're doing hip hop, you're gonna want to be able to hear your bass and your 808s and your kicks. I would even suggest that you get a subwoofer, but not immediately, especially if you're living in an apartment or any situation where noise may be a problem. You don't want to get a subwoofer yet, because that's just going to give you noise complaints. But it's important if you're going to mix low end or you're going to mix 808s, you got to be able to hear what they sound like. And if you have small speakers, you won't be able to hear the 808s really, or certain frequencies of the bass. So at least get 8 inches, and you can get away with that on your studio monitor pairs. And then as you advance, and you don't need it now if you're not going to be mixing your own things. You might just, this might be where you record at, and you send it out to get mixed by somebody else or a different studio. So, you don't need the subwoofer immediately, but pretty much you get the monitor of your choice. But make sure it's a professional studio monitor. Don't use stereo speakers or whatever, and make sure it's a pair. Don't use just one. You're gonna need a microphone. Now, I like the Shure SM7B. This is mostly used by radio stations. You usually see it like if I don't know, you're watching any interviews or whatever at a radio station. These are usually the mics that they use on the little swing arm stands. But people are actually now using them to record vocals too. And when you do use them to record vocals, you don't need a popper stopper and you don't need a back shield. So it's kind of, convenient, and just less of a hassle. And it's a really good sound. So you see how much they are, like 385. Is that new? That's pre-owned, but you can shop around and get a deal for them. With these though, they don't, I mean, when you're using them to record vocals, you also need something called a cloud lifter, and it's a little blue box. I think it just boosts the signal so that it's louder on your track. It's 135. It's this little one right here, not this big one. It's a little one. But you'll need that in order to use the SM7B as a vocal mic, which is what a lot of people are doing right now. If that's a little out of the price range, you can go ahead and get this mic. It's cheap and it's a good quality. The only thing is, if you get a mic like this or this particular mic, you're gonna need a popper stopper and a back shield. And a popper stopper is this thing right here. You attach it to the front of the mic so that when people, I guess, say words with hard P's or T's, it softens the sound so that you don't have peaks in your recordings. You also would need a back shield, which is something like this that goes around the back of a microphone to, like in some rooms, you might have an echo and you don't want to record the echo, so you dampen the sound by putting a shield in the back of the mic. Now for the SM7B, you don't need it, but for any other regular mic, you do. So, and they vary in price, anywhere from, I would say, $21 to $60, $70. Then we're gonna need an audio interface. That's how you get sound from the microphone to the computer. I like the Apogee Duet, especially for beginners. They have two versions. They have the 1 and the 2. The gray one is the 1, and then the black one is the 2. To me, really doesn't matter which one you get. The 1 is cheaper. It'll just make your vocals really clear and everything you do really clear and professional. There are a lot of other interfaces on the market, but for the price, I don't think you can beat the Apogee. I have this, and I also have the Universal Audio Apollo Twin, but that's a little bit more involved. So if you're just starting off, Apogee is a great choice for your interface. You need a microphone stand, and also, depending on your setup, you're probably going to need speaker stands also, unless your desk is big enough that you can, set your speakers on your desk the appropriate distance apart. But you're also going to need a microphone stand. I like the boom, the suspension boom arms. You can get this and just, it's pretty mobile. You can attach it to, any of your desk, or, you can move it around. And sometimes I even record in my bed. Yeah. Or, you can get a desk microphone stand where it just sits on your desk, or the one where, you stand up, the traditional one. None of them cost a lot of money. At the max, I wouldn't spend more than $20, $30 on one. You're gonna need a digital audio workstation. Some people use Logic Pro. Some people use Ableton Live or Ableton Sonars. A lot of them. The industry standard really is Pro Tools, though. Right now, it's subscription based, so you're gonna pay a monthly fee. And if you're just starting off, it's cool. It's better than paying $600-$700 or buying a cracked version and you don't have all the features available to you at all times and it crashes a lot. You might as well just pay the $29 a month or $30 a month. And if you are inactive or you decide you don't want to use it anymore, then just cancel your subscription. And for music, you only need the $29.99 version. I have this version and I haven't seen any need to go up to a higher one. But yeah, you pay for it, and then you also actually, I think they let you download it for free, and you can have a trial. I think maybe it's for 7 days. I'm not sure, but you're gonna need it if you're gonna be recording. You're gonna need it, so you might as well just pay for it. And once you pay for it, they give you all your download links, and you just download it. And for Pro Tools, you do actually have to have an iLock key. You can buy it from eBay or whatever. It's kind of like where you keep all your subscriptions. You have to have the key plugged in order for, it's like this. In order for your Pro Tools to work and you to, have access to everything, like you have to buy one. It's probably like $13, $14, and then you have to sync it up with your Pro Tools, and you go from there. And when you have it, though, I mean, you can take it to any computer that has Pro Tools and use Pro Tools. One thing I forgot to mention is that you probably will need at some point a studio desk like a workstation. You don't have to have one. You can make do with whatever you have. But it might be a little bit more convenient for you to have one. And they vary in price, but they're usually around $800-900. You can get those at Guitar Center, or let me see if eBay has it. Yeah, something like this would be, you know, not necessarily depending on what you have. You might not have anything to put down here. Um, these are for the speakers. And this is for your computer. This is your computer keyboard. A lot of times, even if you have a regular keyboard on your MacBook Pro, but you want a bigger keyboard that has the number keys on them, because in Pro Tools there's shortcuts where you can just press 3 to start recording. But if like you can't do that if you don't have a keyboard with a numeric pad on it. So that's where that would go right here. And then your musical keyboard would go right there if you played anything, or your MPC, or whatever it is you're going to do. But that's more for producers. But if you're just going to be recording, maybe one like this with racks in it. Although none of the equipment that I suggested to you in this tutorial will go in these racks. Um, Everything is pretty much desktop. And I think that's pretty much all you need. And you don't even need this desk. It's just, it would be convenient, but you don't really need it. That's pretty much all you need to initially start your professional home studio setup. In the next video, I'll be assuming that you guys have all these things and I can start on how to record a song. All right, Eric Mims signing out.